brother turned my wedding reception into his engagement party, so I turned his perfect proposal into a circus. Connor couldn't stand when anything wasn't about him. At my sweet 16, he hired a mariachi band to serenade his girlfriend during my candle ceremony. When I graduated nursing school, he chose that exact moment to celebrate his girlfriend graduating from community college in the middle of my thank you speech. At my housewarming party, he gathered everyone outside to see his new car while I was giving the house tour. The father-daughter dance at my wedding reception was going beautifully until Connor struck. He tapped Dad's shoulder, insisting on an important announcement. He commandeered the microphone and began speechifying about true love, claiming Brandon and I had inspired him to propose. Connor dropped to one knee on my dance floor and presented Becca with a ring. My photographer sprinted over, forgetting I existed. The guests erupted in cheers louder than during my actual ceremony. Mom burst into tears and rushed to hug them. The DJ played proposal music nobody requested. My reception instantly morphed into Connor's engagement celebration. A receiving line formed around them while Brandon and I became decorative furniture. People abandoned our guestbook to congratulate the newly engaged couple. Someone suggested a joint bouquet toss. Connor knew there'd be zero repercussions. My parents had spent years reframing his selfishness as romantic spontaneity. Mom phoned the next morning gushing about both her children's happiness. She mentioned reallocating my wedding leftovers for Connor's planning. Her response to my frustration was predictably dismissive. I should be happy for my brother's joy, especially since my special day had already happened. 4 weeks later, Connor announced over pot roast that he planned to propose again at our parents' 40th anniversary party. The wedding proposal hadn't been special enough since it was unplanned. Maybe organize your own celebration, I suggested calmly. Mom's hand shot up to silence me. That's selfish thinking when this would make our anniversary unforgettable, she scolded. Dad nodded enthusiastically while Connor smugly opened his phone. I'll propose at 8 sharp during the anniversary toast, he announced. I'll segue from their 40 years to our future. My parents gazed at him adoringly as he outlined hijacking another family milestone. The familiar erasure washed over me differently this time. Something icy and strategic crystallized in my chest, replacing years of quiet acceptance. I smiled sweetly and agreed his plan sounded wonderful. My revenge was already taking shape behind my pleasant expression. This time would be different. I checked Becca's social media first. She'd been posting countdown photos revealing everything, including the exact venue spot. I studied Connor's patterns from years of his attention seeking. He always expected to be the only show in town. Connor's fatal flaw was his desperate need for exclusive attention. He couldn't handle sharing it. I remembered him sulking for days when our cousin announced her pregnancy at his birthday dinner. Multiple simultaneous big moments would definitely short-circuit his brain. My college roommate Lauren ran a community theater group. I called with an idea for immersive performance about love. I needed 8 couples to have big relationship moments at the anniversary party, each starting at specific times beginning at 7:45. Lauren loved the guerrilla theater concept and her actors volunteered for free. Grace worked at the garden venue and let me scout. We created a timeline building from one romantic gesture to the next, crescendoing at Connor's planned moment. The anniversary party was elegant, and Connor kept checking his watch nervously. At exactly 7:45, a couple near the bar started arguing loudly about trust. They collapsed into each other's arms, declaring their love renewed. Guests clapped, thinking it was perfect timing for an anniversary celebration. At 7:50, a couple by the dessert table shared a passionate kiss. The man dropped to his knee with a ring asking for marriage. The crowd went wild, and Connor's jaw clenched visibly. His eyes darted between his watch and the growing commotion. At 7:55, a man stood on a chair near the photo booth waving ultrasound pictures. He announced they were having twins after years of trying. My mother shrieked with joy, and the entire room turned to congratulate them. Connor started pushing through the crowd toward the microphone, looking increasingly desperate. He reached it at 7:58 and began his planned speech about enduring love. Right as he said, which brings me to my own journey, an elderly couple stood up. They started renewing their vows with prepared speeches about 50 years together. The violinist Connor hired immediately began playing for them instead. Then absolute chaos erupted as 3 proposals happened simultaneously around the venue. By the window, someone proposed using sign language. Near the entrance, kids helped their dad propose to their nanny. By the gift table, another woman got on one knee. More proposals sparked in corners as other guests felt inspired to join. The room exploded with at least 8 different romantic moments. Connor dropped to his knee anyway, but Becca looked horrified and confused. Did you plan all this? She demanded, backing away. This is insane, Connor. She rushed outside while the flash mob began dancing around him. He knelt there alone, ring extended to empty air, face flushed with humiliation. Connor had to propose in their apartment later. The party became famous as the night with 8 proposals. My parents still get asked about their creative entertainment. Connor now arrives late to every family gathering and texts me beforehand about surprises. When relatives mention the anniversary party, he changes the subject. Finally, I have a story where Connor isn't the star.